Hi YouTube, I hope you guys are doing fantastic. This is not the last stream or not the last thing. I know you guys know that because it'll probably be in the title. It is the second to the last stream, I guess, technically, or second to the last episode, right? I hope you guys are YouTube. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. It's been a wild fucking ride. I'll give all of my thoughts whenever we do the final episode. Because of that. Yeah, because it's you know, I need to compile all my thoughts for that. We'll probably do it during my birthday stream or whatever. I hope you guys are practicing some self-care. Come join us on Twitch. This is probably the #1 hub. We're highlighting and trying to clip all of the actual like anime reactions, so it's just easier for you guys to be able to go in there, analyze, do whatever you guys need to do. Yeah, here we go. Mushoku Tensei. The second to the or semi-final episode, I guess. I think it's episode 22. Bro, what is this? Like choosing a Pokemon here? Now that I got the hair color stuff here? Like red, blue. What is this? Like Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander? Like, this whole thing is just filled with like weird symbolism, but oh okay, yeah. Interesting how wine can take on so many meanings. I mean, well, first off, what an interesting fucking shot to stop on, but interesting how wine can take so many meanings. Like, it can literally take the meaning of innocence, you know, purity, virginity, 101 things. Like, wine, like, you know, has been one of those like testaments of like blood, you know, trauma, so on and so forth, just depending on the context. But one of the big things there is we're at least starting to see that, like, I think that this is fucking, we're a minute 50 seconds in. This is probably one of the most revelatory episodes or revelatory things that we have just seen in like the past couple of episodes. And I know that you guys might be like, yeah, you guys might be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Compare Rudy to where he started to where he is right now. Rudy, you know, previous life, like no attachments, no I don't know how to put it, like no strong genuine attachments. But now that he's gone through the trauma that he's gone through, he's afraid of losing people. He's afraid of, because what does it mean? How does this concept, you know, this is where, like, you know, you guys might start seeing some differences. Like, when it comes to attachment work, specifically like the framing and whatnot, like, I know I've used this analogy before, and like there's different people, you know, regardless, we come down to the same baseline. But what I will say is this, like, how does the concept of self evolve over time? If you've lived in a certain place, like if you stop maturing at a certain age and say that you got reincarnated and you passed that point of growth, completely reincarnation or whatever, at what point in time does a new you, this new schema self-concept that you've been there, take over? It's, well, I know, dude, Sophia's not best girl. Well, I mean, we're talking about the anime, brother. Unless we're doing novel, I'm not sure, dude. Actually, I'm surprised Eris is bidding Sophie right now. But yes, the concept of self, of who you are as an individual, you know, in that regard, I this is why this is blowing me away, like in that little bit. His older self, probably, if that would have happened to him, you know, family members or whatever, he probably wouldn't have cared, right? He probably would have been like, whatever, I died, cool. I guess I'm dead. But here we actually see the opposite of that, where it's all of a sudden like, oh shit, like, you know, everything I'm working towards is sort of going away. I don't know, man. It's blowing my mind a little, especially with like the food and all of that, as to like what life could have actually been if everyone was still there. Anyway. Oh no. Oh no. I just realized that's an attachment trauma. My brain just instantly clicked it. That's oh no. So I'm making this prediction. I'm almost ready to double down and put fucking money on it. Yeah, I'll throw it up. I'll throw it up. Here, give me a second. Give me a second. I'll throw it up. Damn, guys. He just all it went was from this to this. Look, all it went was from that to that. Chill. But I'm ready to make a prediction. I'm ready to put money down on it. The trauma that this kid is going through right now, because right now, like, yeah, he suffered trauma from, dying or whatever. But I can almost 100% guarantee that he is developing extreme attachment trauma, like immediately, just off of that. Because what happens when you get so close to death and so close to losing everything, right? And what happens? Yeah, yeah, essentially. It wasn't even those frames. It was quite literally that minute or 2 minutes that we got to see of like what he enveloped and him crying out and all of that. Because what does that mean for this connection, especially seeing as though Eris and him are laying together? You want to know what trauma would genuinely look like? Like, he might genuinely start forming, I don't know, an extreme anxious attachment to Eris at this point. And if Eris leaves, you're talking about a man that's probably going to go into a deep, deep, dark pit uh, because he's not ready for that. Throughout this whole entire point, he's been carrying on everything, like a huge mantle of responsibility that he himself has set on himself, right? I have to get Eris home. I have to survive. I have to get Rui's responsibility. I have to do this. Like he's always taken all these steps, which, like that or not, because sometimes they were unnecessary. Sometimes you have to rely on your teammates and everything. That's one thing. But now all of a sudden, if you start developing this extreme fear, you have to. Here's the thing, people. And I'm gonna point this out there in case you guys are ever like, but I can't empathize with people, right? Like, I have a hard time like understanding why my girlfriend clings on to me or my partner clings on to me for whatever reason. People that have had trauma, sexual trauma, emotional trauma, attachment trauma, will sometimes make actions and reactions that are based on that schema because they don't want to go through that same thing again. And sometimes you'll hear surprising shit throughout it. Like, for example, I've been in some relationships where, they were, they've gone through some trauma, some abuse, some, type of emotional abuse and stuff like that. They're like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with a couple of friends. So I'm like, cool, go hang out. Like, don't worry about it. Just let me know whenever you're coming back home. I had no fucking issue, like nothing at all. It was just pretty chill. They were like, wait, what do you mean? I don't have to text you every hour? I'm like, no, I don't care. Just let me know when you're back home so I can open up the door, Like, people will literally start forming, like, their schema will start contorting towards the traumas that have happened in their life and start making those traumas specific points that they need to hit to please a partner, right? To do certain things. But it is 110% important that I throw this out there because people, especially people, for example, this might be TMI, but like, I've had various clients, various individuals out there who have had extreme, like anxious attachment. Their partner cheats on them or their partner leaves them. Can you guys guess what happens? Anyone want to take a wild fucking guess? Because I can take like 20, but that's just me. But anyone care to take a wild guess? I like how I'm already losing my shit and we're like 2 minutes in. I'll let you guys know. I'll answer while you guys are answering, and then I'll expand if you guys guess right. But what tends to happen off of that is quite literally uh, sexual delay. Aside from getting trauma, it is sexual delay. So what you can get, especially in a sexual sense or whatever, right? Especially if it's one of your first partners or, especially if it's like yours, like, well, we're doing speed anime, bro. It's not really like speed analyzing. But yes, it's sexual delays, sexual blocks, sexual trauma in that regard as well, if it's one of your first partners. But it's also like pushing yourself back. What do I mean by this? Guys, here's the thing, and I hate to put this out there. If you've ever gone through a really, really bad relationship and then you try and get back in the game and you're having issues performing in bed, or girls as well, it might literally be because there might be some psychological blocks in there. because of the anxious attachments we tend to form. Sometimes it doesn't even have to do with the fact that it is a sexual action that's happening. It has literally to do with the attachment and the feelings of closeness and vulnerability. I.e., I've let people too close into my environment that they've hurt me. They're going to leave me. They don't care about me. They're only here for a short period of time. And even if I try and care about them, they're not going to be here for long. You know, people start grabbing all of these ideas, and like, it doesn't even have to be like you're actively thinking about it. It's just placed in the subconscious and unconscious. And like, that's their schema. That is their belief. That is, yeah, exactly. Exactly, Mr. Stabbing. That's why it's important. But it's super duper like important that you guys realize that people do this subconsciously, unconsciously at times, where it's like you take a piece of information in and you might not even necessarily be like actively thinking about it. Like, this is my thought process. This is what I do. This is how I view life. You know, that type of shit. It's already internalized, right? So then what happens when, like, you say you go with a couple of people, you start dating again, and you're not ready for it? You will literally start feeling frustrated. You'll start feeling that, hey, maybe you're not a man, you know, or a person, you know, woman, whatever you want to go ahead and identify as. Like, you start putting all of these self-expectations on yourself. You start putting self-doubt in yourself. You start believing that, hey, you know what, maybe I'm, you know, maybe I'm not supposed to be with anyone. All of these weird, fucked up thoughts, fucked up traumas start developing even further, right? And you're like, wait a minute, Ed. Wait a fucking minute. But what happens? What happens if, you know, how do you fix this, Ed? Ed, I hear you talking about all this all the time, bro. Like, smoke some weed and chill. Like, I hear you talking about this 100% of the time. How do you fix this? Number one, you actually need a partner that cares about you, that can communicate with you, that can open you up, that is there for you, that allows you to be vulnerable, that allows you to grow in that regard, right? It needs a partner, especially if you're having any form of sexual delay, sexual degratification, or, you know, sexual stunts or trauma or anything like that. A partner that understands that. And this is a general announcement for all of you guys. Having sex does not always have to end in having an orgasm. Super important. Having sex is just about the action of going through with your partner, having fun, whatever, but it doesn't necessarily always mean that one partner has to finish or have a big climax or whatever. Especially if, in guys, for example, if you're having sexual like delay, sexual stunts, sexual whatever, there are people who have quite literally been in traumatic relationships, or even their own physiological body, you know, their brain develops a pattern of thinking where they can orgasm without coming. So throwing that out there, yeah, we're very early, and then throwing that out there because that's why communication is really, really important. That's why I always stress that you guys should be able to communicate with your partner. You guys should be able to open up, be vulnerable, and at the same time be open to talking about situations like this, because sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes no one likes to fucking bring it up, especially in like a guy, girl, any type of fucking scenario, because it's an uncomfy talk, you know? Fuck it. In school, how many professors actually brought up the idea of like, hey, you know what, there's, you know, these are what sexual traumas look like, this is what might happen, it's okay not to come, it's okay that, like, you know, certain things might not necessarily go your way. Very little, dude. Very little to none. At least in the parts of the US that I'm from, you know, high school education was pretty much abstinence is the only way type of shit, you know? And then stress in general, exactly as Mr. Stabby. Stress in general can cause a lot of delays. But yes, great. Even hugs, you know, and it's also learning about your love languages. I love throwing this out there because, like, you know, I will shit on a lot of things, you know, like the Myers-Briggs test, so on and so forth. It's good to understanding archetypes, right? But what I will say is this, like, you know, I can shit on it all I want, but it is really good at understanding archetypes and how you're viewing yourself. With that being said, one thing I will push for you guys to learn is, what is your love language? Not just for right now, because I know it sounds silly and you guys might look at it and be like, what the fuck does this have to do with ReZero or ReZero Mushoku Tensei? Shit, that's how you know my brain's all over the place. What the fuck does this have to do with Mushoku Tensei? if Rudy understands what his love languages are and all these characters did, I bet you that there would be no fucking issue in their relationships because the issues would be minimized because they'd be able to go ahead and attune to each other. So please, if you guys ever have an opportunity, try and understand what your love language is. If it's physical touch, gift giving, communication, whatever it is, try and understand it. Have that as a background for for whenever you get on, All right, speaking of the next words there. Minor words of affirmation and physical touch, which is important, Craze, because if you're able to go ahead and affirm that, it's huge. Like if you get words of affirmation and physical touch, that goes a long way. And if your partner's a communicator, then you're actually able to step up and be like, hey, you know what? Like, you guys can adhere to each other's needs. That's why I'm saying it's important that you guys do a lot of self-reflection in that regard as well. Huge. But with that, I guess we'll see what comes out of it. I can already tell how how deep, dark it can get if it really decides to push that boundary. I'll bring it up. Give me a second, guys. I know. Oh. Well, I do have a weird feeling we're probably going to see him leave soon. I know I've been saying this since the previous episode or episodes, but now with the whole attachment thing being brought up, now it's setting up for departures, and this is, my heart's racing, guys. If you guys were here, you guys would probably see my hands fucking sweating and shit, because I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no. I know, dude. Oh. I mean, smart, dude. Oh, no. Oh, no. The doubt. Oh. What are you doing, Rudy? You're setting yourself up, dude. You're implanting weird... Oof. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to point out. I'm just waiting for a little bit more confirmation, which is essentially it's not even implanting doubt, it's reinforcing values at this point. After seeing such a traumatic event in the previous episode, what is the first thing that comes into mind? I am not good enough to be around this person. I need to do more work to be around this person. If I want to protect this person as much as they protect me, I need to get better. I need to do certain things. So if we're traveling around and all of a sudden you start you start saying, oh yeah, I'm trying to do this in order for me to be able to get away from this, to do certain things. Even though it might just be a genuine statement from the person, it's reinforcing the schema of what just happened. So it's reinforcing the action of I don't know, of hey, maybe I need to get better, maybe I need to do certain things, Now here's a real question for all of you novel people. Remember, we're watching this just through the anime perspective, but I really just want it's not even a hard question to answer, I guess. But were all the animals also teleported away? Genuine question. Were all the animals and lifestyle or or was it specific to only humans? And I hope you guys know that would cause an extinction on a massive level. Yeah, I hope you guys know in a realistic setting that would cause an extinction level of massive proportions all around the world. Fell all around the world. I ain't even fucking kidding, guys. Imagine this, right? Yeah, that would pretty much be I asked that question because I'm I wonder if this happened. It just popped in my head. But imagine this. All of a sudden... migratory birds that are supposed to make their path head over to Brazil or Argentina, right? For the summer. Boom, the incident happens and they're back in Canada. All of these birds dead. Guess what? All of these insects that are supposed to grow in certain periods of time dead. All of these food supplies that people eat and did no longer working. Rip birds, rip animals, dude. Because especially if you're putting them in like random cycles that are particular to this region. Yeah, but I'm just talking about like just in general. If it was like una explosión que cubriera todo, to say it's like for example, if an explosion covered the majority of the desert where I'm at, goodbye rattlesnakes, you know, goodbye a majority of like desert living biome creatures specific to the area that I'm at. It still has a wide reaching effect in that regard. And even if it's just a small town, even if it's like yeah, the animals are leaving. Why are they leaving us? The animals. But even if it's just in that regard, like say a state, right, or even a city as big as LA. I'll put it like that, because I'm pretty sure the explosion was even smaller than that. They are leaving. It was like a state, let's say. Sure. So let's put it in reference to state. In a country, you know, if all of a sudden, let's say California just disappeared off of the United States, that would be fucking turmoil. Absolute global turmoil, economic turmoil, nationwide turmoil. Not necessarily the state disappeared, but the people were shifted all over the place, animals all over the place, or even Arizona or any state in particular. You know, because all of a sudden, yeah, it's like a nuclear bomb essentially going off in that. Or even Texas or any big state. You don't even have to worry about a big state. It could be any state. Any of that happening, it's global consequences, almost immediate consequences towards the nation that it's at. It's political consequences, i.e. you're probably going to see a big vie for power and a big, because now there's, you know, granted a lot of horrible shit happened, you know, but there's more likely to be a big vie for trying to go back over there. I kind of wished it wasn't gonna. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck, dude? I was saying that as a hey, okay. I guess my psychology does come to work. I just remembered a line from last episode, which is, I'm not supposed to meet you guys yet. Does that mean that they're gonna go actually meet up again and like fight? Yeah, dude, we're not watching the final episode tonight. The final episode will be saved for my birthday, brother. We're doing a whole birthday stream and it'll be, we'll save it up for them. But yeah, dude, does that mean that like the Dragon God is gonna meet up with them and like later on? Like enemies, friends? I just barely fucking processed that. Oh god. I still can't believe I called this out earlier and that's actually happening. That's, for me, it like, I don't know, it really hits, man. Especially any like departure scenes or anything like that, because it can be terrifying. And that's not like a normal aspect or thing to throw out there. To quite literally, like, you know, even if you've made friends along the way and all of this beautiful stuff, to say goodbye. You know, it's one of the hardest things to do. Even like, you know, if it's like, hey, like, you know, we're going through the same thing, but you guys have another goal in life that you guys are striving for. It's hard. It is hard. And even in spirit, you know, that end will still live on. Best way to put it. But it's one of those moments where like, you know, it hits. If you guys have ever like, you know, gone like abroad or gone, you know, left home for like the final time, or even the last time that you had to say goodbye to like a family member or anything, dude, reference those feelings in that regard, you know, like, even though like, you know, I don't know how to put it. The best thing about it, which is wild to even think about, is like every single passing moment is quite literally now a memory. Even that, like, even just saying that is also just a memory, which is wild, you know, because at the end of the day, like, how will people remember you? What is the legacy that you're trying to leave on? You know, Are the memories that you're creating good enough for you? Are you happy with the memories that you're leaving behind for other generations, kids, if you want them, or whatnot? And how to like even without the whole isekai stuff, just personally for you guys, like how are you guys doing? You know, and that's one aspect. Like like all things aside, all reactions and whatnot aside, like I genuinely care for you guys, and you guys are you guys are amazing, and I hope you guys know that. I appreciate that you guys are here, and I hope you guys are taking one or two different like concept. Doesn't matter if we don't agree on every single thing, but just like the basic need for like mental health or psychology or self-care. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the best thing that I could tell you guys, or like, I guess from the bottom of my heart, and I think from anyone's like Brady and whatnot, is thank you guys. Like, I think I can speak on all of us, because it's interesting. It is. It's we'll applaud you. We applaud you guys, and we applaud everyone who's watching this either later on YouTube or here on Twitch, and they're struggling, and sometimes we don't like to admit when we're struggling or when we're going through certain stuff. But even staying here with a group of people that like the same shows as you do, even if it might be controversial at times and cause discussion points, or even if you have people that love it, hate it, try and start up points for no reason, discussions, whatever. It's finding a group of people that you're at least comfortable with opening up and discussing something that you love. And I think that's important. And I think even if you're laying in bed watching this and you're like, man, I have no motivation to do anything else, I'll let you guys know this. You're watching a mental health stream, analysis, a psychologist and analyze an anime. And even if you think that you're not ready to take that first step, you've already taken that first step. So that's huge, and I applaud you guys, and I hope you guys do well. I hope you guys have a fantastic day with that. But anyway, respect, man. Okay, dude. Okay. Okay. First off, this fucking glasses dude looks like the type of motherfucker that would be like, well, you're back, let's get you married. You're at the ripe age of marriage. Like, he looks like the scummy motherfucker that would go for some shit like that. First off, dude, like, okay, we've clearly been through a lot. You've clearly seen us, like, fucking get here. Instead of being like, hey, how are you? You doing good? What's going on? Like, slowly approaching, it's like, Rudy, stay outside. It's like, Rudy, you don't come near us. This ain't the fucking shit for you to hear. Like, bro, what the fuck? Where's the empathy? Shit, we just got back, dude. Let us at least fucking eat. Damn, dude. Damn. What the fuck, dude? Whoa, Maester, bruh. First off, I don't need a whole fucking novel explanation, dude. I know, but like, you can oversee a whole land while still being empathetic. I think that's the number one thing. And also, if you're gonna put those expectations on someone that just came in, on literally someone that just came in, you're like, oh yeah, I'm overseeing this land, so you gotta like go ahead and be a part of it. You know what that's gonna do? It's gonna cause someone to run away. Like, no one, like, imagine this, going into a job, right? Say that, like, if you're a social worker or whatever, and all of a sudden, like, instead of having like a normal caseload of 20-30 people, you get a caseload of 120 people, dude. That's my overall thing. Is like, and that's kind of how you show that, like, even like that, it's fucking scummy, and people are need to do a lot of work. That's my overall thing. But also, don't bring in things that are not introduced yet. That's my number one thing. Yeah, no need to give we're watching the anime, so like, let's stick to anime only. That's what we're critiquing, the anime. That's fucking horrible. Oh, great. She's already affirming the fucking scheme that's already been set. So Eris is more than likely gonna run away. Yeah, Eris is more than likely gonna fucking run away then. Because this is already the third time that it's been mentioned or hinted at. in any fucking regard, you know? Like, we talked about trauma, we talked about all that fucking trauma and meaning and everything. You pull that up with like, hey, you know, Rudy's so deep in thought, you know, not unknowingly pushing Eris away. You put that up with all of these fucking expectations being, sorry, I'm using my hands, but like, you know, to gesture, I figured you guys can't necessarily see my desk. You put that up with like this person fucking putting in all this expectations, pressure. Hey, you're gonna get married with, you know, so on and so forth. Hey, parents died, grandparents died. Oh yeah, hey, guess what? No, dude. Of course, you fucking fuck, teenagers run away for the stupidest of things, and sometimes it's justified things, you know. But you're gonna get a situation where they're gonna try, you know, you're gonna try and get it far away from the region of trauma or potential trauma that's there, and this is a big potential region of trauma in of itself, you know, feeling inadequate with Rudy, feeling inadequate in this region, feeling as though you're not going to have a choice or a voice, feeling as though, you know, all of your attachments aren't necessarily here, feeling as though you haven't grown. You have all of these feelings already compiling in this regard. That's fucking wild. Bro, what people? Are you talking about the people that are grieving and still crying and not really organized in any way, shape, or form? Because that's not a town, dude. That's still a group of people. If you want to go ahead and, like, you know, maybe, I don't know, still process information before you start making big plans. What the fuck is up with this guy? Oh, wow, look, wine again, reference point. Oh gosh, what are we about to watch here? Oh gosh. Bro, fucking red flags. Guys, start spamming fucking red flags in the chat. Guys, start spamming red flags in the chat. Holy shit, no. Red flags, guys. Red flags everywhere. Oh boy, instantly she walked in without how she usually walks in, completely different demeanor, all of this shit, dude. Red flags in the chat. Let's fucking go, dude. Oi, oi, bro, this is let me go fuck let me, guys, if you ever see a sudden shift in attitude, tone, body language, whatever, pay attention to the shit. This might not be the opportunity to think with your other head, if that makes sense or regard, you know. Listen, be open, be vulnerable, because this is a type of shit, scenarios, emotional vulnerability that gets people to do stupid fucking shit. Dude, that's fucking no. My tank. And people will say that they're fine. People will say that everything's good, that they're okay, that whatever, dude. But if their body language, their demeanor, the way that they approach so on so often isn't necessarily the same way or similar to what it's used to be, and they approach with different outfits, they approach with whatever, especially a partner, you know, in that regard, and you're not paying attention to these fucking signs, you know that internally there's some fucking turmoil happening. So at this point in time, you have to start realizing, hey, what's going on? This is going to lead to some fucking major trauma. This is probably going to lead to a scene that I hope I don't see. Sound the fucking alarms, dude. Fucking red flags everywhere, dude. Yeah, something's about to happen here, and I think that it's probably not going to be. Yikes. Is this even the right episode? I'm starting to even fucking question it, man. Yeah, it's not even. Oh. I don't think he can even rationalize to do the good thing, man. That's. Oh, okay. I'm over here questioning. I'm like, did we accidentally get like. Dude, red flag, that doesn't matter. Rudy is I'm all alone. Fucking red flag. Dude, what? No. Yeah, this is. I turned 15 the other day. The fucking promise, guys. Ill. Red flag, dude. No. Red flag. Dude, all of these lines are red fucking Floridius. Be my family. Dude, you're saying that you're not affected by hearing that your parents just got the news that your parents fucking died, that your grandpa fucking died, that they're trying to marry you, that like no one, you've lost all major fucking attachments to like, you know, your immediate world, that no one really gives a shit about what's going on and just wants you to like be dumb or like shut up and like be there. And she's like, Rudius, be my family, blah. Come the fuck on, dude. What the you want to be? Oh, come on, dude. My dude was trying to like family zone himself. Bruh. Oh, no. Oh, no, no. You are about to cause yourself a lot of trauma, Rudy. You are about to cause yourself so much fucking trauma right now. Don't do this. If you do this, if you literally go through with this promise, I will bet fucking $5 or $10 that she will leave. I bet you $5 or $10 that she'll more than likely be gone, dude. This is what people do when they're about to fucking do like an ultimatum on themselves, dude. This is like one of the world's biggest fucking stupidest like type like shit test type things, dude. Quite literally, this is like a self-personal ultimatum where all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, like, you know, now's the day where you can take me. I'm changing mood, changing everything, whatever, and then the next day it's like they're fucking gone, dude. What the fuck? Dude, don't be a fucking idiot. Don't think with your other head. You know, try and be rational. Maybe if you're empathetic enough to open up and listen, you might be able to like get them to divulge as to like, hey, what are you thinking? What are you planning? Where are you going? What are you gonna do? Are you okay? Let's talk about who you are. But fuck. Okay, I'm done. I already think I already know where this is gonna go. Oh no. Oh no. He dripped the wine. Oh no. Alright guys. It might be a bit censor. You guys can still hear it, but just for safety. This means you're turned on. It's fine still. I'll change it the moment something happens. Okay, there's nothing spicy. Okay. What did your mom teach you? What are you gonna say? Oh no, don't tell me you're gonna fucking meow like a cat again. Or let's make a baby or some shit. It's both. It's both. I'm done. It's both. It's both. What the fuck, dude? Bro. Dude, what? No, this is Eris. What the fuck? And he's gonna fall for it. His cup is gonna fall dramatically or some shit. And he's gonna go for it, isn't he? Because he's a fucking horn dog, but at the same time, he knows the consequences that this is gonna happen. Bruh. I'm losing my shit here. Too late, bro. The symbolism, look, he's putting it in. Right? Is that what this is? Like quite literally the cup, the like wine and everything. Bro, it's too late. It is too late. He's lost in the sauce, man. He's a juicer. Man, he's a juicer, and even with all of this shit, dude. What the fuck? Quite literally, that's like a that's like a straw hat. That's funny though, but that's like a moment where he's lost in the sauce. That's a moment where you know that this is gonna have fucking implications going forward. Huge implications. This is really gonna have some fucking consequences. Some get together fucking build and shit, dude. I don't know. I'm not even fucking like mad about it. Actually, I'm kind of surprised like that like he didn't think that something was. Bruh. Bro, she's gone. She became edgy, dude. She became an edgelord and left. I fucking called it, dude. I knew she was gonna be a fucking edgelord. That OVA pointed to that fucking edgelordy shit, dude. Holy shit. We're not well matched, dude. Oh, Rudy's gonna go into depresso mode, isn't he? Oh, dude. And he's not gonna tell you where. Fuck, dude. Fuck, get wrecked, dude. She hit it and quit it, dude. She hit you and quit you, bro. Like, come on, dude. Oh, attachments. Attachments. It was a one-night stand, brother. You just didn't listen. The expectation, whenever you place a stupid amounts, like for example, if you go into a new work environment and they place 1,000 expectations on you immediately, what is your first thing? Burnout, dude. You instantly feel like, holy shit. Like you got to get away, right? That's one of the innate natures. I got to get away from this scenario. Number two, you have the whole situation that happened with Orsted, feeling powerless, not being able to save Rudy, you know, so on and so forth. Maybe there's that feeling of innate, hey, I'm not at the level I'm supposed to be at to be with a partner that's there, you know. I'm not as strong as Rudy to be able to support him and help him and, like, you know, actually be able to, like, save him if need be. Number three, you know, hey, the sexual trauma, he was a virgin, now his first, yeah, I was about to say, if that was your first experience, I hit it and quit it and you weren't expecting it, like if he was a virgin and this is it, that's an insane amount of like trauma that can go into that, because as I was talking about delayed gratification and all the sexual traumas that come with it, this can go on so on and so forth. But it's a lot of attachment work in that specifically, and that's why I'm mentioning, like, there's a lot of expectations that are being placed on her. You know, you just found out all your parents, your immediate attachments are dead. You're more than likely going to try and run away because someone in a position of power is trying to force you to go out and do something. You don't feel adequate to stand by the side of Rudy at this point in time. You feel like you need to grow and explore and maybe get better at who you are as an individual to try and stand side by side, especially since in the OVA and the other like places, whenever she talks about Rudy, she talks about him in such a fucking high light, like, oh yeah, Rudy's amazing, Rudy is this, Rudy is that. Like, how, you know, there's that like imposter syndrome as well, you know, like, am I good enough to be at this point in time there, you know? So that's the best way I can put it. Also, we are talking about the anime. We are not talking about the novels. Please, no spoilers. Remember, this is all psychology about it. Any spoilers, people will, you know, delete them. That's why we have a whole chat. But anyway, no. I'm seeing the credits roll, but I don't want to believe that it ends here. Dude, cry, dude. You gotta vent it out, dude. This will probably take you down the deepest, darkest hole of your fucking life, dude. Yeah. Trauma, bro. Fuck, dude. Only one episode. We still have the finale. We still have the final episode. Holy shit, guys. That was... Fuck. That's the best way I can put it. First off, I did not expect this much revelation and this much shit to happen that, like... Honestly, all of the predictions, first off, let me start by clearing out this. All of the predictions I've ever said are based on psychology. They're based on the attachment lens of psychology, using, you know, different interventions, different formulas. So seeing all of that shit play out, and especially seeing a lot of the stuff that we've talked about being brought up to now, it's insane. It is actually really, really insane to see that, like, all of this stuff has been, like, I don't know how to put, like, appearing constantly as we go through this show. But yeah, that's sort of one of the big things is, like, you know, and we've talked about that trauma and relapse, you know, relapsing, especially when you're trying to get better from trauma. And that is something that I expect going forward, i.e., you know, there's probably a lot that's when, if anything, this was probably worse in his view as to, like, what it means to truly find someone and be vulnerable to them, or even like the concept of sex in general, you know. It is absolutely insane how much you predicted. Guys, I swear, it's not anything special. Brady has done it as well, the other psychologist, and so on. Like, you know, we pretty much all sat here and analyzed and done all of this shit. So it's not just singular like me, it's other people. But it's, yeah, that's a lot of fucking trauma, dude. That's a lot to unpack in all of that. These are things that in a therapy session, you know, you start identifying. You start being able to start, like, see out, like, oh, there's attachment issues, there's parenting issues, family dynamic issues. Oh, they have issues with, like, communication, issues with so on and so forth. Like, you're able to go ahead and pinpoint a lot of these issues and bring them to the forefront and be like, hey, I'm starting to see this. I'm not sure if you see the same thing. You know, how's that for you? So on. Like, That's what I'm saying, guys. If you're dealing with anything, if you feel like you've stunted your developmental growth, seek out a therapist immediately, guys. If you genuinely see a lot of yourself in Rudy or in any character that, like, you know, Paul specifically or anything like that, seek out a therapist or some mental health professional. There are those that do it on a sliding scale fee, which can make it significantly affordable. Just to be able to address any issues, trauma, schemas, whatever. I'd suggest, like, even for any type of damage, like emotional damage, whatnot, like trying to give you guys like a little bit more spice or a little bit more understanding as to like the psychology of these characters, or like how psychology can be implemented to these characters, and how, you know, writing can actually be I don't know how to put it, brought up and done I don't know how to put it, like done in such a big way, you know, like it can be done in such a big psychological element. I will say this, ladies and gentlemen, the final episode of Mushoku Tensei will be done Sunday. We're going to be celebrating my birthday, Sunday, Arizona time. You know, I'll probably start up early. I'll make a huge announcement. Join our Discord. That way you guys are informed as to when I might start, because it'll be the first thing that we do.